Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video to kind of go over some of the paleo diet basics for you guys. Seems that's the way that I really encourage you to go through this program and just eat for a healthy overall lifestyle. Paleo is super anti-inflammatory, a very balanced way of eating if you do it correctly. So I kind of wanted to go over like each food group and why it is or isn't included, and then maybe some um, alterations or some foods that can go both ways. So starting on this left side for you guys is going to be the to eat category. So this to eat category is going to include meat, poultry, and fish. So with that being said, when you're buying meats, the more organic, grass-fed, free-range kind of things that you can buy, the better. And with fish, wild caught's always better. Otherwise, it was probably raised in a pool and fed dog food. So if you want to get the highest quality out of your meats and the best fat levels, you really need to buy high quality meats, because if you're just buying the food dyed stuff in the meat aisle at Walmart, then yeah, I mean, red meats might be bad for you if you're buying that quality. However, if you're buying grass-fed, high-quality meat that has good fat levels, it's not bad for you. Hope that makes sense. I think eggs are probably the best food. It gives, the chicken everything that it needs to raise a baby, so it has all the essential nutrients that we need. Pretty much any vegetable or fruit is going to be fair game. Fruits are totally in moderation for this. So there are definitely days where I take some of my purple containers and turn them into green containers, because I know if I eat too much fruit that I don't lose very much weight, just because it's too much sugar. Fermented foods are good because they're going to give you these probiotics that are always in all the health food buzzwords today. So those are going to be things like sauerkraut and kimchi, and even kefir can be okay if that's like the only fermented food that you're getting. I also really like kombucha, which is like a fermented tea drink. It kind of makes me feel like I'm drinking beer when I'm on a diet, so that's always fun. Healthy fats, pretty much any plant fat is going to be awesome. So plant fats are going to be things from like coconuts, olives, your nut oils, avocados, things of that nature. Also, animal fat is good for cooking, because animal fat can handle higher temperatures, so it doesn't go rancid when you cook with it, unlike something like olive oil that actually goes rancid if you cook it at too high of temperatures. So high temperature is going to be good for like things like coconut oil and butter and ghee is actually butter, it's just clarified butter. Yeah, so any spice and herb is going to be fair game. Those are going to be like the all-you-can-eat category. Nuts and seeds are in moderation, just because, honestly, they kind of mess with a lot of people's guts because they're very hard to break down. Nuts are meant to be sprouted, which means that they need to be soaked so that the enzymes can be activated. And most of us eat these like dry roasted varieties that are very difficult to digest and tend to be like little ninjas going down the intestines and just tear things apart, for lack of a better term. So, and then lastly, for the to eat list is natural sweeteners. Obviously, this is going to be tiny little bits, guys. This is where your teaspoon measurements are going to come in. For things like honey, maple syrup, coconut sugar, maple sugar, things of that nature. I think maple syrup is probably really the best option because it spikes your blood sugar the least. And going over to the grain portion, so it's saying avoid all grains, whether it be wheat, barley, rye, corn, rice. Yes, corn is actually a great grain, despite what we've been taught. The thing with grains is there's something in them called phytic acid, and what that does is it depletes a lot of your B vitamins and causes inflammation in the gut. Really irritates a lot of people. Also, it's the food of choice for a lot of bad bacteria that are going to be in your gut. And when bad bacteria really like something like that, then they tend to thrive and flourish, and you end up with things like yeast infections. Never something that you want to deal with. So next on the avoid is legumes. So legumes are going to be beans, soy, lentils, peanuts. We can go to the general like beans, they're good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart comment. Legumes tend to produce a lot of gas in the intestinal tract, which again, gas is bad because it means that you're not digesting the food that you're eating, which means that bad bacteria in your gut are fermenting them and creating this gas that you get. So not the best thing if you're trying to get your gut inflammation down and lose weight. Last is dairy. So dairy is one of those things that kind of goes both ways because basically what we do to most of our dairy products is we pasteurize them and heat them to a high temperature to where there's like no valuable enzymes in them anymore. Really the best dairy is going to be raw, which most grocery stores don't carry, and I think it's technically illegal in a lot of states to even sell raw dairy products. So really probably just best to avoid that one, especially seems it's in like the top 3 allergies in the United States. So a lot of people just can't tolerate it anyways. Really important one to avoid is bad oils. So things like canola. Canola is not a plant, it's a company name. So not really something that you want to be eating. And things like soybean, cottonseed, safflower, vegetable, a lot of those are man-made or man-processed poorly oils that cause a lot of inflammation in the gut. The body just doesn't really recognize them as food. Artificial and processed sweeteners are an absolute no-no. So these mess with your brain. They cause your physiology to think that you're eating sugar anyways, which tends to mess with your hormones and mess with your brain, especially your brain, because they're just fake toxic substances. Any processed food, so I always tell people avoid the middle aisles, shop the perimeter. The perimeter is where you're going to get fresh, real food at. The center aisles is where you're going to get the man-made crap. And then lastly is bad preservatives and additives, which again are things that you're going to get mostly in the middle aisles and in a lot of your bad processed meats, like a lot of lunch meats and things are probably more preservative than they are actually meat. So these should be some good rules for you guys to use if you aren't already doing like the paleo style. I put up a food list in there for shopping to go along with the 21-day fix protocol, and this is a way that I really emphasize that you eat. It's really going to decrease inflammation. It's going to make you feel fuller longer, more satisfied, and is a really great way to promote and sustain weight loss even when you're not doing the portion control thing anymore. So thanks for that, guys. I hope this is helpful. Talk to you later.